All right.
All right, we will call the meeting to order at 6:34. Welcome back, everybody. I hope everyone had a good summer. Ready to step into fall. Anything to add or remove to the agenda? I think the only note we have is that Karen is not joining us tonight now. She bowed out, but we are still reviewing all the same information.
Yeah, we have,
She
she,
just won't be here.
in her stead, I have her notes, her recommendation, and what we should approve. I mean, not telling you what to vote for, but just like the motions we need to make. Yeah.
Secretary's report, did everyone get a chance to take a look at Trisha's minutes that she sent along last week? Any changes, additions?
I have a question. I found the minutes, and I read them, and now I can't find them again. So this is a little vague, but there was a paragraph about there was a paragraph about the outside, whether there are going to be rules about use of the
Yes, yes.
and when I read this particular thing, it made me realize I didn't know what it didn't say. I think we reached some conclusion, but it wasn't clear what that conclusion was from what was written here. And where is that paragraph?
I'm looking.
Okay.
Maybe it's in the director's report.
Nope, because we decided not to do anything because we can't actually govern how people use the outside while we're not supervising.
But at the same time, it said that the insurance person said that you can't have fires there.
Yes.
It wasn't, this didn't seem quite clear to me.
Fires can't be had when there isn't a library
Right.
representative supervising.
I don't know, just take a look at that if you run into it. See if it makes sense to you.
So this was the July meeting?
Yes. Or was it?
We didn't have a meeting in June.
Yeah, I think it was the July meeting because VWS was getting ready
Right.
to do their.
It was about that
meeting
specific
here.
thing.
Obviously not a big deal, but if you run into it, have a look at it.
I did engage Wade Masher specifically about that, I remember, and I think it should be recorded that no fires without library representative hanging out, fully extinguishing, etc. And that trying to attempt to like dictate other use of our grounds in terms of like reserving it and things like that, we decided not even to take on.
Oh, here it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Billy contacted our insurance advisor as to whether groups could use the fire pit, and he said that when there is not a staff or board member present, no outside groups can use the fire pit. We determined that we don't need an outdoor use policy because any group can use these outdoor areas without needing reservation.
Except they can't have a fire there.
No, but
Right.
that's just general rules in life, right? Like if you don't have explicit permission to have a fire, you probably shouldn't. Yes.
And the fire pit, is it kept?
The
that
fire,
way?
no, the fire pit is concealed in a locked
Yeah.
storage box
Oh,
behind. Yeah.
okay, maybe that's the problem. I
Yeah.
was thinking of that place as being the
No.
fire pit.
No, we're not baiting people into into it.
There's wood, there's kindling.
No.
Lighter.
Enticing array of s'mores
So
ingredients.
are there any changes that feel like need to be made to that paragraph? No.
Anybody else? Make a motion to accept the secretary's report as recorded.
So moved.
All in favor? Thanks, Josh. Treasurer report?
I have nothing to report in particular about the budget right now. We're so early in the season. Do you have anything in particular, Emily?
We
that-
don't. No, I gave this a good once over, and no, other than that, we're in pretty good shape. And nothing stands out to me or is unusual or caught my eye. But you guys are all seeing it for the first time. I was unable to send it with my director's report, so it's in front of you all. So if anyone has questions about this, please let me know. And just because we're reconvening for our year, something I know you've all heard me say, but is worth repeating is that this is hard to read. And if anybody wants to go over the finances or has a particular question about any of it, please come and see me and we can have a one-on-one meeting. I welcome that, not just with the finance report, but with everything, but especially with the finance report, because I know I'm very used to looking at the NEMRIC layout, but it might not be, I know it's not easy to interpret necessarily.
I have a quick question,
Mhm.
which is on the page 2,
Mhm.
the very top. There's a line item called vision.
Yes,
It's under employee benefits. What's the vision?
vision insurance.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So viral.
Get literal.
Thank you.
I like the idea that it might be something else.
Then you can insure for it.
I know. Vision Quest insurance.
So, yeah, I have a question.
Please.
So the actual inner income
Hmm.
is 256.
Yeah,
And projected was 292.
yeah.
Is there certain things that we need to be doing to, I mean, obviously we can force people to fines.
Can't we? Yeah, this is perfectly normal for this time of year. I think all the revenue lines are in pretty good shape. The fines, we've taken away the fine donation box.
Right.
We talked about that and why, it was becoming a target at other libraries
So,
for theft, so.
so the budget is the year-long budget, not the month-to-month.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep,
I'm
yeah,
used
so
to
this is,
looking at a month-to-month.
yeah, no, this is the
Oh,
whole,
that's
this is the full
generally
picture.
really good thing.
So we're in good shape, because we're 3/12 of the way through, or 1/4 of the way through.
No, we've got
Yeah.
most of our income.
We do, and then there's certain things that don't happen until after the close of the fiscal year, the transfer into fundraising, and the trustees appropriation. Kevin and I meet with Karen Astley after the close of the fiscal year and make those transfers, because often they'll cover stuff above and beyond what we've anticipated here that you
No,
guys
I was
have.
just thinking.
The endowment and-
August,
Yeah.
but
Oh, thank you.
month to month, so
Also endowment interest.
Yeah.
Jim's right. I knew there was a third one.
I'm fine with it.
Okay. Anything else? Cool.
Thanks, Kevin. Emily and I decided not to have like a line by line director's report readout this month because we have so many other things to cover tonight. Did everybody get a chance to take a look at her director's report? Does anybody have any questions about anything? All the awesome stuff that happened all summer?
I put pictures in there.
Pictures, amazing summer reading program.
Yeah, pictures, amazing summer reading program. The lights are done. That's all I have to say. Or that's all I remember putting in there, but I'm sure there was more. I also just wanted to, one thing that wasn't in there that I do want to mention is that I'm beginning work on the fiscal year 27 budget, as at Karen Astley's prompting, and I will be doodling the finance committee so that we can meet before the October meeting.
Thanks,
will.
Emily. All right, committee reports. I think, so Tony from our, who handles our endowment is gonna be, is not coming for about a half an hour via Zoom, because we thought Karen was gonna be here to present at the beginning of the meeting. So I think we'll bump that down and move down the list. Institutional long-range planning. Nothing to report.
We did meet over the summer. Was that before our July meeting?
It was.
Okay, never
Yeah.
mind then. We already talked about this.
Nominating committee. So currently I am the nominating committee. And we have to start thinking about some trustee recommendations. Kevin's 9-year term is going to be up in March.
Not possible.
So those are
It's not
big
weak.
shoes that we're gonna have to fill when Kevin steps down. And Jessica has decided that at the end of this year, she is ready to segue into serving the library in other ways that are not board related.
No,
Do you have anything?
being on the board, but I'm spread too thin, so.
Yeah. Yeah. I miss you. Thank you. So that will be a 2-year term that we're looking to fill at the March town meeting. And then both Trish and I are up for renewing our terms. So Trish, you can let me know how you're feeling.
She said she's
Sorry, I wasn't listening, I was typing.
It's okay.
Kevin's position is how many years?
9. Well,
No,
three.
it's 3.
Someone has to commit for 9.
Yeah.
You're on for 9 years.
That's the truly coveted fourth position.
Trustee for line.
Yes.
But also maybe everyone start to consider
No, the trustee.
if the
for life.
treasurer
yeah, yeah.
position is something that feels like it's in your wheelhouse, because Kevin's been manning that ship for, I don't know, since I've been here, so a long time.
The whole
The
time.
whole
Yeah.
time. Yeah. He did
I
get,
inherited it from Randy.
he did get pressed into a 9-year treasurer term by
Okay.
Randy Smith, our former 9-year perma treasurer.
Fire.
Anyone else?
Me person to,
One of this.
Yeah, it would be great to have another Putney school.
it would make
Represent.
sense to find somebody.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, it would be nice to
Um,
continue that connection.
But yeah, I feel like if anybody else is interested in being on the nominating committee with me, that's fantastic. But also if like my circles of people are not everybody else's circles of people in Putney. So it would be great to just either chat with me or with Emily. Emily's a great person for fielding. Oh, what about this person? And so feel free to reach out to either of us if you have ideas about someone who might be potentially interested in serving on the board.
Thank you.
Yeah,
We can stick amber on them to charm them and tell them that the salsa.
there's salsa mild and hot.
Yes.
That's the funny, isn't it?
No, Trish is actually
I'm
not a
not.
Putney resident.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
They come speeding
They
down.
just
the
have to
road.
be Putney adjacent or
I'm
Putney.
kidding.
Honey library lovers.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a decent amount of people that utilize this library
Yeah.
who are either, Westminster folks or
Dummerston,
Dummerston.
Yeah.
They pay a fee.
they do. And it's in your budget status report under, not.
I think we
Out of
we
town
raised it
fees.
a couple of years ago.
We
Maybe
did.
It's 30.
It's $50 a
50
year.
now.
Yeah.
Yes,
It was never
still cheaper than Brooks.
way cheaper than Brooks, but also it's never been 30. Brooks's changes a little bit every year, I think, based on their tax percentage. And I think it's either 65 or 75.
Yeah, and I think it was going up because they just like wrangled me into doing like a 2-year one. 'cause it
Oh,
was
wow.
cheaper, and they
Uh-huh.
knew it was gonna go way up. So,
Good for them. I'm like, I admire that approach. Okay.
I mean, it was coming. They knew it was going.
Yeah,
up,
yeah.
And they were like, you should really just get 2 years, right?
They might also just need money now.
Yeah. Okay, personnel. I think that's me too, and maybe like one other person. Emily is in the middle of writing her sort of
Middle is a strong word, but yes.
in the process.
Yeah,
She's in the process
that's
of
a
writing her
better word.
self-evaluation. And maybe we'll be taking a look at that
It's the
next.
2 of you are personnel. Yeah.
I'm a personnel.
You are.
Oh, all right.
So we have to hound Emily into
I'll do it.
writing her self-evaluation.
That's just a few more things being a little more pressing, but yes, then I'll tell you how those went in my evaluation.
Policy and bylaws.
Karen, I was talking to Karen a couple of weeks ago, I guess, and she said, well, we finally got the almost final version of the town personnel policy, and we really need to I sort of felt like I was back to square one on how we got, we got to make this all work, because just like we hadn't had any discussions about this. And she said, and the other thing we need to do is revise the agreement, what's it called?
MOU.
The MOU concerning buildings.
Oh, I didn't know.
So
that you
we're just kind of doing that.
Yeah. I wasn't aware that you wanted to revise it. Maybe like I thought it was more like revisit it and expand the MOU to include things like personnel.
That may be, we didn't have a long discussion of it.
Yeah.
She wasn't ready to talk about it, but she sort of said, well, we do need to. Sort of felt like.
We have some minutes.
Kind of did that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, she could be, we could remind, you
Yeah.
know, where we
I
got
just
to with
wanted to
with
let you
that.
know that the
Yeah,
conversation happened.
Yeah, Janice keeps reminding me that she has extensive notes also to pass along. I don't know if she's already passed them along to the rest of the personnel committee, but
Rest of the
We're-
personnel committee, meaning you and I.
or no, not personnel, policy
Oh,
bylaw.
bylaw.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. So she has work that she tried to move
Well, Ben
forward.
did a bunch too.
mhm.
For the compensation thing?
No, I thought you, or no, maybe.
No, that
I think
MOU,
it wasn't-
I did a bunch of.
Yeah.
That was you. It was Kevin, okay.
Yeah.
So a bunch of work has been done on that.
And it might be like, if I remember correctly, there was the difference of opinion around how much we needed to include
Yeah.
and how much could be sort of just umbrellaed under
Under
the
the
board
Mhm.
is in charge of personnel and
Mhm.
Right.
so that could be that a lot of Janice's notes have to do with the granular details.
Well, Kevin's did too.
There's no urgent work that anyone's suggesting right now needs to be done on policy bylaws, is there? Or,
I don't think there's anything on fire. Usually I'll
Okay.
propose things to you if there's a legislation change or something I feel we need to tighten up because it's leaving us vulnerable because of loopholes, as with the case of materials challenges and things like that. But I don't perceive any, and I don't even perceive that there's any because of what Jim's presented. It sounds like we're just trying to
No,
be in line with the
Right.
town.
got it. Thanks.
Okay. Buildings and grounds. So the heat pump bids came in and Emily and Karen have done some work reaching out to folks and reviewing and you all got the bids.
Mhm.
One was concise, one was, I don't know,
Less
45
concise,
pages
yeah.
long.
Right.
Made the mistake of trying to print it out.
I don't know. No. I did speak with Karen today and she sent me I think she does this for every bid comparison. She made a spreadsheet and she sent it to me right before this meeting and I can pass it around. But I just want to kind of summarize what she and I talked about, but she and I also each talked to HVAC certified people that are volunteered to evaluate the bids for us. So we're calling them, Jerry Hyam made sure to let me know that this was his personal opinion since we weren't hiring and paying him for his professional opinion. The two bids came from Arc Mechanical Contractors and Vermont Mechanical Incorporated. We are allowed to discuss these in open meetings, in an open meeting because they have already been unsealed and opened. The Arc Mechanical bid came in at $55,737, and that does not include the Efficiency Vermont discount, which they misunderstood, and I called Efficiency Vermont and clarified, but the discount is $1,800 off of that. They've worked with several libraries. They also worked with Rockingham Library, where I worked during the renovation, and they installed the Mitsubishi heat pumps, which are what they obviously different models, but what they proposed for us. And there's a little bit more detail about what the warranty and things like that are covered. Vermont Mechanical proposed $71,895. And we're pretty small potatoes for them. I'm gonna just cross out their Efficiency Vermont number because they misunderstood what that was. I called Efficiency Vermont.
But it was 3,500.
It's not true. Yeah, you know it also. But I talked to Efficiency Vermont and got the real deal, and it's $600 per outdoor unit if they're multi-head units. So that's in here. Jerry Hyam recommended the Arc Mechanical bid, not just because it was cheaper. He said that even if the numbers were concealed, that he would still recommend that because it seemed like they did a better job taking a look at the building and anticipating things that were specific to our building that would make the project go certain ways, and included that in their bid. I'm trying to remember what else he They use fewer outdoor units.
Right, that was a
Yeah.
physical difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he thinks both bidders are qualified, but that ARC is the better bid. Karen Astley's husband also volunteered his personal opinion. He is also HVAC certified. And I was like, why didn't he bid on this?
That would have been awkward.
I know, I'm just
Yeah.
joking. And he also liked the Arc Mechanical bid better. So the cheaper bid, the $55,737 bid, was the one favored by the two professionals that we had look at them for their personal opinions. And I can pass this around. Go on.
I'm sorry, was this figure sort of in the range you thought it would be?
I've gotten bids for this project like every couple of years, almost the whole time I've been here, and this is, I think it's more because we asked these bidders to act as general contractors where they subcontracted for electricians to work with them to run the new wiring to the pumps. So I don't,
Opposed to,
as opposed to just, in the past, I think I had just gotten quotes just for new heat pumps, which were something, it first.
That's often the way it works.
Yeah. But I think that the first time I had them out to bid, it was like $18,000. And then somebody else gave me a bid for like $35,000. But even that was 2 or 3 years ago. And I don't believe it included the electric.
And it has gone up.
Oh.
dramatically.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Prices.
Karen gave me her notes for, I think it's the select board that has the final say on part of this, but what she wanted us to do tonight is to have the board vote on choosing one of the two vendors. We only got two bids. They both came in on time. And both covered the minimum bases, which is something Karen noted for the select board. She wants the board to do that. And then she also, her suggestion, and I think this makes a lot of sense, is to expend the $25,145 from the library reserve fund that we established at town meeting that she visited us to explain, to use that towards this. And then she's proposing that the select board make up the difference of $30,592 from the general fund capital reserve fund. General fund capital reserve fund. I did say that as it's written. So that's gonna be her proposal to the select board tomorrow night.
Can you say that amount, the select board amount?
Yeah.
35?
It's this one, it's actually 30. So
Oh,
that's the
30,
select board,
yeah.
and that's the library
Okay.
reserve fund. You can,
So
Okay.
That's sort of assuming that we accept.
yes.
yes.
Right.
So remind me where the money came from for the library reserve fund?
Yes, during COVID, when certain expenses were massively reduced because we didn't have any employees besides me, it's a massive cost savings. And so we just had like extra money during those years.
So
Year.
how does the current MOU concerning buildings?
It says that it's a town building and that the town is responsible for paying for it. I think I certainly the entire time, like right when we established the reserve fund, when she was saying, let's earmark this money for the library so it doesn't just get sucked back into the general fund, I was like, great, we'll use that for the heat pumps because it was becoming evident that these federal grants were coming through.
My only concern is if in the future they might say, well, we kind of split it like half and half the last time we did this. Remember the heat pumps we did? You paid half and we paid half.
You didn't pay half.
Well, that's why I was
Yeah.
asking.
Well, I like this because it's very clear that the reserve fund is not fundraised money. It's not from anywhere else. It is town taxpayer money that was left over. I mean,
Okay,
that
so
almost never happens.
It's town.
It's town money, yeah.
But it arose because the library didn't spend its budget for,
Correct. So we had,
because of the circumstances.
yeah, we were in the black for a few years, but this didn't come up until this last this last town meeting. Because a number of other departments had similar things, and I think that there was a movement to maybe take all that money and like reduce taxes for 1 year, or I don't know what
Yeah.
it was. I don't know what it was, but I know Karen was like, let's make sure that this stays with the library. And And I think you guys remember that she came and spoke with us
Mhm.
about it. So it's going to be very clear in the notes and everything else that this is from the reserve fund, and we know what the reserve fund is. It's very well documented what it is. It was its own article at town meeting.
Mhm. And the MOU is quite clear too, like, we both reviewed it,
Yeah.
like, that this is clearly an expense that the town would pick up regarding the building
Well,
versus the board.
yeah, but all of it, not a part of it, which is what they're gonna effectively do, although you can, it's kind of how you look at it makes a difference here.
I
But-
get it, and there's just no confusing where the reserve fund came from. Like, it's definitely town money.
Mhm.
And we can make that clear in our minutes.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
and I'll look at our minutes, Trish, don't worry, with a specific eye towards that, and just like making sure we document this, because I appreciate that you're wanting to be careful about making sure that there
Yeah,
aren't
but that's-
Not a
misunderstandings.
precedent, yeah.
No,
I have a couple. How many units, remind me how many units we're getting for,
7 indoor units and 3 compressors with the ARC mechanical bid.
and do we have a warrant? I just met with somebody yesterday for one of my projects, so now I, I know more than I thought I ever
Yeah,
did
yeah.
about this. Do we have a warranty with it?
There's a 5-year warranty for both, 5-year parts and compressor, 5-year parts for ARC mechanical, 7 years for the compressors.
Cause what I understood is that a lot of these mini split installers,
Mhm.
that's where the problem comes, is then they're not installed as well as they could be.
Mm.
And then you end up really spending a lot of money fixing them.
I mean, they've given us references for 3 different libraries that have used them, and as I said, I lived with the Rockingham Library ones for actually probably only a year and a half, before I came here.
They said what I was understanding when we were having a conversation, that usually you find out a problem really
Really
early.
quickly, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
they were good.
they were good, and I know that, so I also know because of that, that ARC Mechanical has been installing Mitsubishi heat pumps for at least, 11, 12
They're
years.
supposed to be the top of the line.
Mhm.
Can't say it. So.
It's okay.
Okay, that's all I had to say.
I'm happy to also, if you guys want me to follow up with the other libraries that have these installed more recently, I'm happy to call Newfane or any of the other places that they provided.
I don't think that's necessary.
I don't
Okay.
think so.
Yeah, I think it's great that you got recommendations from a couple of HVAC folks who had experience with it. That's wonderful. And like you're saying, like it's not like it's a new model that someone's just learning to put in. So I think
Yeah.
that's good. And then I mean, a fair number of us here have experience with heat pumps recently, so we know that, like, even though it's very expensive, it's not like anybody, it's not like these are out of the realm of what you would expect
Mhm.
for this size installation at this particular point in time.
Right.
So.
Is
Yeah,
that really?
fine with me.
I'm sorry. This isn't discussion like for right now,
Mhm.
but probably for the future, if we vote to have these, is to budget money for them to be yearly.
Yeah, to be cleaned, yeah.
Yeah, that's really important.
We had been doing that with the air conditioners and,
Oh, okay.
yeah, but I think the heat pumps might cost more to have them cleaned, but there might also be, I know there's subsidies through Efficiency Vermont. It
Mhm.
might not apply to us.
Yeah.
As a nonprofit or as like non-low income homeowners, but I know that those subsidies is.
At least with mine, there's some very simple things you can do to
Mhm.
Yeah.
clean them.
And when you have the you may not know, but I'm gonna ask anyway.
Yeah.
When you have these air conditioners clean,
Mhm.
is it just like the bag thing where they go up and they put it in plastic and they spray it down with the solvent? and the
They
salt
do,
just drips down?
they do part of that, but then they also flush out the, like the moisture lines.
Oh, like the drain line?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
they definitely do at least those things, so I'm not sure what else it includes.
That doesn't sound all that different from what the folks who, what We Clean Heat Pumps did at my
Yeah.
house. What, and there's an outdoor unit with the
Mhm.
air conditioners as well.
Yeah,
for
with the
sure.
compressor.
And so do they do anything out there that?
I don't think so, for cleaning the air conditioners, but I am actually not sure.
Okay.
I think at least with mine, there's supposedly an annual thing that they want you to
Hmm.
have them come and do. But my observation was that it took them about less than 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it made me think, this really is not worth it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's gotta be, if I can look in there as well as somebody else can. So I haven't.
So Jim's gonna clean the
Yeah,
heat
I'll
pumps.
be down.
So don't worry, Trish.
Don't worry,
I'm
Jim's
not-
on.
My chimney brushes.
No, this is good, especially as I prepare the budget. I should get the quote like while we're thinking about this. So
I know, Jim, we did the same thing. We've been paying the yearly thing, and then this last year we were like, that's a lot of money for the 15 minutes that
Yeah,
they're
that-
I'm sure we can figure this out.
Yeah,
And of course,
exactly.
we haven't yet, but we're planning on it. So maybe Jim and I will be the
Our chimney swept retired. And I said, what, he said, well, there's no one else to do this, he can't sell the business. And I said, well, I'll hire you to show me how to do it. And he said, I don't even have to show you. I'll just tell you the tools again. You get your power drill and you put the brushes in there and you're done. And it costs, $400, right?
For having?
Yeah, exactly. This, I think, is kind of the same thing.
yeah, I think
It's not rocket science.
last time I called this year because we were having some moisture dripping from one of the few functioning air conditioners, and I was like, oh, it needs to limp through. And I called the woman and she said, so when you took a shop vac to the outside moisture line and did this and this and this, what happened? And I was like, I haven't tried that yet. And she's like, I know. That's what happened. And I did do that, and then it was fine. And so, yeah, yeah. But she was kind of like leading me through it because she knew that I was like just really not wanting to spend any money.
Do we need to make a motion then on the heat pump bids? Is that what we do next?
Yeah, you guys
I
need to
think we
approve
need to decide, like,
There's
is there
special
anybody?
form of it.
form.
Well, I thought you were suggesting that the motion had to be,
Oh,
had to include some magic words for Karen.
no, she has written out, she actually wrote out the whole motion for the select board tomorrow,
Oh, it's the select board.
and it has Arc Mechanical in it. Maybe she made an assumption.
Right, like first we need to make a motion
Yeah.
to approve that we would want to choose Arc Mechanical if that's indeed what we're in favor of, and then we need a motion
To
to accept that the town will take our reserve fund money
Mhm.
to put toward the cost of the
Yeah,
pumps.
the library board approves the expenditure of the reserve fund. Yeah,
Mhm.
So it's the total balance that's currently in
Yeah.
the reserve fund.
correct.
Okay.
So
You were really close to making that motion.
no, okay. Hey. I'd like to make a motion that we choose Arc Mechanical to install the heat pumps at the library.
Let's vote on that.
So moved.
Any questions? All in favor? E. I'd like to make a motion that we authorize the town to use the money in our reserve funds toward the cost of the installation of the heat pumps for the library.
I'll read the total and then I'll give it to Trish. It's $25,145. Oh, cool. She doesn't even need me.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor? Great.
Yeah,
Thanks, guys.
we're on our way.
I did have a question. It's not really about like undoing the vote or anything. It said that in the, like, it was gonna take 2 weeks to for them
For
to,
them to do it. I don't
do the
know if,
work.
I don't
I
know
was
if we have to be,
curious
I
on-
don't know if we have to be
Okay,
close. I will talk
yeah.
to them once they are awarded the bid and
Oh,
we
I
can
don't
start
think-
chatting about that. Also, next meeting probably, Jerry Heim says that the time to redo the drainage outside the library is while the compressors are, while there's no compressors.
Absolutely.
The brief moment where the old ones are removed, but before the new ones have come in. And I got bids for that at some point in the distant past, and I will we need to do that
Yeah.
too. So I mean, like, just, yeah, yeah. And so it's like redoing like the moisture barrier and the drainage, like just regrading things.
That could be significant,
Yeah.
isn't it?
I think the last bid I got was, I want to say it was $12,000.
Might be 20,000.
I know.
I have a question, do we know about when the work will be done to install the new heat pumps?
For Arc Mechanical, they said that it would be at least 8 weeks out and then 2 weeks of work. So Karen had the delivery date of early December.
Okay,
Almost all the work on those is outside.
yeah, and then,
So I don't think you'll,
Okay.
I
I hope
don't
can
think
get
it'll
those.
interfere significantly.
Yeah,
and then there will still be an alternative source of fuel heat
mhm.
at the library as
Yeah.
well. That's what does the radiant.
Yeah, the radiant
Mm.
floor heat is still probably gonna be energy wise the best bet after a certain,
Yeah.
after we hit a certain temperature, but we'll be able to use the heat pumps during the shoulder seasons.
Right. Okay. And one other question is the state of that system, which I assume is fuel oil,
Yeah,
like, what's the timeline on repair, replacement?
an excellent question.
upgrade on
I don't
that?
know.
How
I'm
long's
not,
it been?
well, it's the same age as everything else. It's its 20th birthday. Yeah, like the rest of the building. So I don't actually know
It
about
could
that.
easily
system.
go 35 years.
Yeah.
Well,
Potentially.
And I predict that we're gonna end up using the heat pumps for more than you think.
yeah,
I think it's gonna end up being 90% of,
Maybe. I mean, it
we'll
sounds,
see, but
well, and as their efficiency goes down with temperature, they can still continue to run.
yeah,
They'll just supplement the
and
radiant.
and
Yeah.
that point where their efficiency goes, as is at a level which makes them less efficient than the fuel oil is constantly, with new models, it's constantly going down.
Yeah.
And I think it's pretty low now.
That's what I learned yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably something that we can easily find out, given that we're working with Mitsubishi models that we know.
Well, you also be able to look at the electric bills
Yeah.
and figure out kind of what's happening.
Okay,
ooh,
Tony is joining us in about 2 minutes, which makes me think that we're not gonna move on to approving the appeal design right now.
Eat chips
It's like
for two.
intermission, like
Yeah, I've been looking at-
mild or spicy sauce.
or both.
can I actually jump ahead to a 2-minute thing, I think?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so Fair Compensation Committee,
Yeah.
I need to send out a doodle poll.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna do that tomorrow.
Thank you.
Folks who are on that committee, do you have like just general ballpark times that would be good for me to, because like last time I put one out and everybody was like,
Nothing.
we can't do any of those, man. So, are we looking at afternoons? Are we looking at mornings? Are we looking,
Are you talking
Midnight on
next week,
Saturday?
the week after?
what's that?
For me, it's more, I'm around some of the time and I'm. not
Oh,
around
okay,
some of the time.
which week are you around? What would be a good week for you? Well, he's thinking, Kevin, how about you?
Not next week.
It's probably gotta be night,
Okay,
unless we do it via Zoom, which then everything changes and I can be way more flexible.
oh, well, we can certainly zoom you in. Sure.
I would just say not next week.
Not next week, okay.
Other than that, it really doesn't matter.
All right, so how about an evening of the week after? I'll post some times in there, okay. Evenings, great, thank you.
We might still have like 3 minutes, maybe 4.
Yeah, I mean,
Other
Did-
impulsive
did every-
decisions?
yeah.
Did everyone look at the?
Did everyone-
you know, 'cause
Did everyone get a chance to review the image?
That I didn't.
Thought the text was really
Thoroughly
good. I
reviewed.
mean, I like the whole thing.
Yeah,
So the-
I thought it turned out really good
Who
too.
wrote the text?
The two of
Emily and I
us.
sort of, I mean,
Excellent.
yeah, I think it helped like so much that Emily has just come off of that fundraising class because she had a lot of really clear ideas of
What's that?
how to frame the conversation and the ask.
Was in, that big long email?
It was the first one that I sent with the agenda that
Yes.
said there are like other things attached to this, but we have hard copies right here too.
We
if you would
do.
Prefer to just.
Yeah, I'm all.
Oh.
Oh, you have the.
Tiny version of it.
No need.
So yes, there were two things. So the letter is what's gonna go out as our.
And
appeal.
you're like,
And then.
oh, right. Yes.
You can't really
You
put
had
a
to-
letter at the circulation desk.
Yeah.
So it's sort of something that like we can put at the circulation desk that people can use as a bookmark or just a little reminder of, that we're here and always happy to accept donations.
Yeah, that's the one, guys.
Oh, the rack cards are here.
Chrissy's.
Oh, yeah,
magic.
Oh,
And
okay.
we really,
And it's both.
I
Right.
know Ashley personally, but she really hit it out of the ballpark with her testimonial and.
At the desk.
It's a
in
good
the
job.
map.
Yeah,
Right,
he's
so
the
this is
director of
really-
non-profit push.
I was thinking, looking at a little
Yeah,
thing, I'm thinking
art. So
this
she
was the
had
other side of it.
insight into,
Yeah, this is exactly what you want.
yeah. And she's here all the time with her little
Right.
girl.
The rack card is two-sided.
What's on the other side?
You can see.
Oh,
These can be read.
So these, if we approve these tonight, they're gonna go to the
It's Tony. You can finish your
Yeah,
statement.
by October, if we get it in October first, we get them back by the end of October.
Right.
And we usually try to get them into the mail. Thanksgiving.
The only thing that jumped out at me is there's a dash in the first line that I don't believe needs to be there.
Oh,
Two
2 and
da-
4.
two dash and 4, unless I'm,
Unless there's supposed to be a dash after 4.
Yeah.
Show me what the, oh, yes.
dash.
top line.
Nothing coming in.
All right.
So it's not.
I
the
added a lot.
omission of a dash, it's the addition.
Are we adding the dash or are we taking away the other dash?
Removing.
Take it.
It's like after one of the ages.
I know. Do you want me to be in touch with Chrissy about that? Because I need to talk to her about final things anyway. Final.
Sure, if it's easy for you.
Hi, Tony.
Hi, Tony.
Hello. Can you hear me okay?
We
Can you say something again?
Yes, can you hear me okay?
Yes,
Yeah.
I can
Yes.
now.
Hmm.
Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure, my pleasure. I'm sorry if I'm interrupting at all or if it's an appropriate segue.
We will vote on that before we.
Does everybody feel like they've had enough time to consider the appeal?
I
Yeah.
have
Oh.
One piece, I just looked up, there is a hyphen between year and old, so if the grammar Nazis are after us,
Year,
they would
year
want,
dash old.
so it's year
Well, there's
old.
two hyphens. huh?
So it's almost
So we're
like it needs to be
adding-
after the 4.
No,
but
no,
it's
no,
after the 2.
no, because when you're listing it sequentially like that, it doesn't even go both places.
Yes.
Yes, except what
In this particular case, let's spell it.
There is.
So you're
Or we can
saying,
spell them out.
Yeah.
So-
I feel like it's her quote.
That's true. When we're talking about a quote.
We'll just put a SIC at the end.
Oh.
Sorry, Tony. we're-
Wiggle room.
No, that's fine.
I feel about it.
We could,
We can look it up.
Oh, I see.
why don't we
Just
just spell out,
Also
we could just
require
spell out the words, but
hyphen
wait, but
comma.
there's still hyphen.
There's still gonna be some sort of.
Right.
too. That's just an aside, really. That was-
Yeah.
so the question is, take out the one after 2, put in one after 4. Is that what we're saying? No,
Yeah.
or 2
Just
after,
we have to be consistent
right.
either
I don't
way.
care either way. Doesn't matter to me. Yeah, consistency is the only.
Well, seeing as we all read it, except for Kevin, without even seeing it.
What do you want to do, Kevin?
If there's some rule that I'm aware of, I'm not gonna.
Didn't you just look it
The
up?
rule is that there should be a hyphen between the word to and year. And then there should also be a hyphen between year. and
So we need to add a hyphen. Add 4.
Add hyphen.
Okay.
All right,
You're
anything
gonna
else?
talk to Christie, yeah, so but any,
Yeah.
any other sharp eye observations?
I'm not looking.
Right, make a motion to accept the appeal, approve the appeal for the year. and Give it the thumbs up to head off to the printer.
Second.
Cool.
All in favor?
Yay.
Yay,
Thanks,
thanks, guys.
All right, cool. I will get final files from Chrissy and upload them for CNS to print.
Yeah, right?
Like it.
Says the pro.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Okay. All right.
Sorry, but I'm just,
It's too late, Jim. No, I'm sorry.
in the last paragraph, we're on dashes, right? Right before the word you, there's a dash. I guess that's okay.
Oh,
Why not a period there?
I think that's a mistake. Oh, no, it's you.
Shouldn't it be an M dash, like a longer dash?
Or a space between the Lion community and you, I don't know. Personally, I would put a period there.
Final sentence, you
Yeah, a period would be,
Yeah.
would be better.
change to period.
I always like periods.
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay, I've noted it.
It's to see the-
I know the
Inner
inner
working.
working.
Really how.
I bet Tony's always
Dealing-
wondered, how do we raise all this money?
Major issues we contend.
Yeah.
We're earning it.
Dash policy.
Yeah.
So for those of you that don't know, Tony is our financial steward, advisor, helper. Has been at Park Place and recently new business at Longview, and I can let him take over from there and he can explain that a little bit and talk about our portfolio and give us a bit of a review.
Yeah, do I have the ability to share my screen? I at least just want to bring up.
Yeah, let me make you co-host, or yeah, I can make you co-host. And I think that you should be good to go on that. And I'm trying to hide us so that. Yes, thank you. There we are.
Am I the only Zoomer?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay. Let me see here. Where am I? The message. Outlook. Why am I not seeing the document?
is it, are you able, do you see the share thing at the bottom of your screen?
Yes, I
Okay.
do.
Okay, good. So I think you should be ready for me.
There we go. Sorry about that. It's been a few minutes since I last was on Zoom.
No,
Can you all see that the screen now then?
Yes.
No.
All right,
Yeah.
perfect. Thank
yeah,
you.
it's
It's
pretty
kind of
small. Hold on, let me see what I can do with this.
Oh no, I can make it. I think I can make it
Yeah, I
larger.
think it's our full screen that we need.
Okay.
It comes to one out. Come on, get well.
Bear with me here.
That's
That-
better.
Time's too neat to see.
This is.
We need that too, sorry.
Yes.
Good.
I was
Yeah.
looking for my classes and-
This is the only meeting it was acceptable not to send you the report because it's doing it.
Okay. So before I get into the portfolio, I'll just speak to what Kevin had mentioned before and my transition out of Park Place and the bank, Brattleboro Savings and Loan, and the establishment of Longview Wealth Advisors. So I had previously held dual roles roles at the bank as an employee and as a financial advisor affiliated with Commonwealth Financial Network. So when I had made the decision to leave the bank, I maintained my relationship with Commonwealth Financial Network, which is the investment advisory broker-dealer firm that allows us to work with clients and utilize these portfolios. So on on May 30th, I had transitioned and the team had transitioned out of the bank. We are about to establish, well, not establish, we're about to send out a notification, which Kevin, Emily, and Amber, I believe you'll receive that we are going to be at our permanent location at 35 Frost Street in Brattleboro. It is for those of you that may know, it is the Mocha Joe's Roastery. There's an office suite on the second floor that is now our new permanent home, and we're looking forward to welcoming clients there. Since our transition, well, really since May 30th and about 2 months ago, there was an announcement that Commonwealth Commonwealth was acquired by LPL Financial. So when I made the transition to Longview, it actually did not have any impact on your accounts or our relationship in any way because of the ongoing relationship with Commonwealth Financial Network. So the two accounts that make up the portfolio for the library are unchanged, including the account numbers, the overall asset allocation, and the underlying investments to the extent there's any changes that we would make just as part of our ongoing management of each of the accounts in the overall portfolio. And I believe there is going to be potentially a request for funds, and we can talk more about that as well. And just as I'll back up too, because Kevin kind of started a little bit at the beginning. When we started this relationship, one of the objectives was to create an investment policy statement, which we had done early on. And one of the sort of important tenets of that investment policy statement was a commitment on the part of the library to have the assets invested in what are known as sustainable, responsible investment portfolios. So that continues to be the overall approach to the portfolios that you see here on this page right now. I want to come back to what I had mentioned that Commonwealth was recently acquired by LPL Financial. It does not impact in any way, shape, or form client accounts at the present moment, but in Q4 of 26, so in about a year from now, or a little bit more than a year from now, there will be a conversion of all of our clients' accounts from National Financial Services, which is the custodian, that's where assets are held, to LPL Financial. And there will be new account numbers and changes to what some of the reporting paperwork looks like, but it's not going to require any active work on the part of the library as clients. So that will be a seamless transition. We will be keeping clients abreast of that conversion, but that'll probably be probably sometime after Q1 of 26. And as time goes on and we have more that we can report regarding that conversion. But and it, I don't expect it to change the underlying investments, but there could be some small changes down the road. And again, we'll talk more about that as we get more information regarding that conversion. So I'm gonna pause there and to answer any questions before I move into actually the the portfolio, you know, what how the performance has been since inception and over the last 12 months, and some of what we've done within the portfolio over that time, and then talk about any withdrawal needs that the library has.
I have two questions. Hi, Tony, my name's Ben.
Hi, Ben.
The two different accounts within the portfolio are differentiated by what looks like a ratio at the end. There's a 60/40 and a 20/80. Can you just tell me quickly what those ratios are?
Absolutely, and we'll get into that when we move further along in the document.
Right,
But
you don't have to do it now if you don't want to. You can save it for later. That's fine.
no, I'm happy to, because it kind of tees things up. So the account ending in 8832, which is the larger account, has 60% of its assets invested in equity or stock investments, and 40% of its investments invested in fixed income or bond-like bonds or similar instruments. That was the original account that was established as, kind of coined it as the endowment account. It's a portfolio that would have a slightly higher volatility profile because it has more equity exposure, but it should also have a higher corresponding investment return for taking on that higher volatility risk. The other portfolio is just the opposite. It's 20% equities or stocks and 80% fixed income or bonds. And it will have a much more conservative or lower volatility exposure, and therefore correspondingly lower investment return over time. There could be some market changes that take place over a short period of time that may show differences, but I can show you what that looks like as we kind of work through the portfolio review document. Does that answer your question?
Absolutely, thank you. Yes.
And for our purposes, the 20/80 is, we look at as more fungible
Yep,
More what?
exactly.
or
Liquid.
expendable liquid.
Expend.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna minimize myself here.
We can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Not well.
Just keep talking. Zoom will pick up, I think.
Okay.
There we
Yeah,
go.
there you go.
All right, great. This shows that the combination of the two accounts. So, the 60/40 on $330,000 of assets, and the 20/80 on just about $70,000 or $69,000. The library's portfolio, in other words, the sum of those two accounts, creates an overall allocation that's about almost 50/50, not quite, but between the fixed income or bonds and the small cash position. It's about 47% of the assets are in fixed income or bonds, and then the rest is in stocks, both domestic or US based and international. This is where we we get into a little bit more of the diversification within the portfolios. So there's intermediate term bonds, there's short term bonds, there's high yield bonds. And although bank loans are not bonds, it is sort of a fixed income type of instrument for which there's a very small position. And then you can see that there's, again, really focused on diversification, large cap growth stocks, large cap value stocks, some exposure to large cap international stocks, and some emerging market and mid cap or the stocks of smaller companies compared to larger companies, and then small cap stocks, which would be even smaller companies compared to mid cap stocks. There's just plenty of evidence out there to demonstrate the value of diversification over time. And I think this next slide will help to emphasize that. This is the portfolio over, and this is going to represent when the original account was established in 2019. That's the original inception, if you will, of our relationship. But the smaller account was established in 2021, so it has about 4 years of performance associated with it. The portfolio is the dark blue bar. Again, when I just showed you the breakdown of the investment allocations, there was international investments. So we use, instead of the S&P 500 for a benchmark for comparing stocks, we use what's called the All Country World Index, and it weights the market weighting of each of the markets of the different countries that have active markets, capital markets. So that would be stock and bond markets, or really stock markets. And then we use the aggregate bond index as a benchmark to think about bonds, because by and large, all of your bond exposure is domestic or US. So on a sort of 50-50 weighting, we're looking at returns so far year to date of 8.5, or I'm sorry, 8.25% in the on a year to date basis, 7% over the trailing 12 months. That's a full year. 9% over the 3-year time period, and about 5.9% over the 5-year time period. You can see the portfolio balance at the 12 months ago was 380,000. There was a withdrawal in November of last year. This is a change in position value, dividends, management fees. This is the ending balance of the portfolio, and this is the total gain after that time period over the trailing 12 months. This next slide is looking at each portfolio in the underlying positions in their contribution to investment returns. So you can see the large cap growth fund produced a 9.4% rate of return. The large cap value fund, 12.7, again, over the trailing 12 months. This is showing domestic equity at 10.29%. Again, these are the bond positions. Happy to say that over the last few years, bonds have produced much more favorable rate of returns than when you had initially started investing in the 2080 portfolio. When interest rates rise, it's a it's a significant headwind for bonds. And when interest rates stay steady or fall, it's a tailwind. And so, bonds have performed much better in the last few years than they had the previous 2 years. And of course, this is the international positions. It's a Goldman Sachs International. ESG stands for Environmental Social Governance. So those are the three pillars by which a lot of sustainable, responsible investment managers look when they're making investment decisions. And then this is the emerging markets. This would be the position, which is, smaller. It's not the smallest, but it's certainly it's not nearly the largest. It's a much smaller position than the other international fund. This is the fund that will have the highest volatility in the portfolio, but it'll also have the lowest level of correlation between other stock investments. And its performance has been really pretty stellar over the last couple of years because interest rates are going down, and it tends to weaken the US dollar, which is good for emerging market investments. Previously, when interest rates were going up, when we were dealing with inflation, this was one of the more underperforming asset classes. This just shows the actual total return of the, we'll call it the endowment portfolio at 7.6% over the last 12 months. This is the 2080 portfolio. So this is, again, thinking of it as the more liquid portfolio, an account that you can tap into that should experience lower levels of volatility. It wasn't necessarily the case early on because of rising interest rates in its negative impact on the bond market, but you can see they're all the same investments. It's just the weighting is different for these portfolios between the two accounts, I should say. So there is some equity exposure, but it's limited in scope and does not include any emerging markets, again, because the posture in this portfolio is really more about reducing volatility and getting incremental rates of return. Oh, I'm sorry, there is a small position, very small position in the emerging markets and international. But the rate of return in that account, that 2080 account over the last 12 months is 4.15%. And I just want to show you a small little difference. This is what is known as the IRR, is the internal rate of return. This is the rate of return that was experienced by the library over the trailing 12 months. And you can see that's 7%. If I scroll back up and we look at the portfolio summary here, it shows the trailing 12 months is 7.04%. This is what is known as a time-weighted return, not an internal rate of return. And so a time-weighted return is just looking at the portfolio and its rate of return in relationship to benchmarks absent any changes in cash flows. So you can see this, the difference between 7% and 7.04 is very, it's de minimis. It's, but it is a small difference. And that small difference is because there was a withdrawal in the account. So to the extent there are cash flows both in and out of a portfolio, and you will see some small differences between the time-weighted return and the internal rate of return. So that I'll pause there because I'm kind of maybe getting in a little bit into the weeds on the investment side, but I'd be happy to answer any questions that anyone has.
You mentioned at the beginning, and it shows in the names of these various funds, certain ones of them, many of them have the word sustainable or the acronym that you pointed out, the CGI or something.
Yeah, ESG.
Yeah, that's something else, isn't it? So what percentage, is it possible to say it, but not all of the funds show that?
Oh,
So
just because
I
it's not
assume-
in, yeah, just because it's not in the name doesn't mean that it's not. All of these strategies are strategies that are that fall under the SRI, sustainable, responsible, sort of investment posture. And in fact, when you look at Parnassus, Parnassus doesn't have it anywhere in its fund names. And one of the reasons for that is Parnassus is one of the original sustainable, responsible SRI investment managers. That's all that they do. So
the answer to the
Please.
question, what percentage of these funds invest in sustainable companies and bonds?
yeah,
You're saying it's 100%.
yeah. So I'm going to back up a minute to try to answer that question because so there are two aspects to investing in the sort of what is known as the SRI ESG mandated portfolios, the environmental social governance. So I can say with a high level of confidence that if we looked at all of the underlying positions in each one of well, not in each one, but in several of these investment portfolios, there might be investments that in companies, that you would believe would not be appropriate for a sustainable, responsible investment portfolio. And part of that is the whole idea around environmental social governance. And I'll use an example. First of all, SRI in its very infancy was all about making investment selections and not including or excluding investments that didn't necessarily fit that mandate. SRI and ESG investing has expanded to a multi-trillion-dollar investment approach, for lack of a better word. And what has sort of come out of that over the last several years are what is known as investment strategies that focus on shareholder engagement. An example of that, the example is getting a little long in the tooth. I can find some others, but the one that comes to mind in the last 3 to 5 years was some SRI or ESG portfolios that took on substantial investment in ExxonMobil. And you would think, well, that's not something that you think you would want to see in your portfolio. And these SRI, ESG, they were related to large pensions, and some of them fund managers took on these positions because they wanted to get board seats, which they were able to at ExxonMobil, and try to influence change at Exxon and still continue to do so. So there are investments that would fall under the line of shareholder engagement, because these are strategies where change is trying to be affected on the governance level for some of these companies. But to answer your question, by and large, yes, the strategies the underlying investments in these strategies would align with what your sort of thinking is on what is an SRI sort of sustainable, responsible investment position. But there will be some that are not, and that's the reason why, because there's some level of shareholder engagement afoot. And that may be on both so when you think of stocks and bonds, they're actually, from a corporate perspective, just two different sides of the capital structure of a company, right? So a company will try to borrow money for some goal, whether it's to acquire another company, to expand its footprint, to roll out some type of new product. And folks that are willing to lend that money and be a bondholder may have similar goals in terms of either SRI or the ESG shareholder engagement. But you're going to find more government bonds than any other type of bond in most bond portfolios in the ESG world, just because they're government bonds and they're not necessarily corporate bonds. It's just an easier way to allocate to the fixed income or bond market and satisfy that sort of SRI goal. And one of the things that we can do, and I do this for some clients to the extent there's a desire to do that, and I would certainly offer it, to run an actual positions report. And it would be I'll be honest, it would be several hundred pages, but we could run through it and be able to look and see what's in the portfolio, to the extent that there would ever be any interest in that. If there aren't any other questions regarding the portfolio, I would like to actually hear more about a possible withdrawal need, and how best to accomplish that, both in terms of what that amount is, if you folks know that, and the timing of that would be really helpful.
Are we ready to talk about that?
I don't know that we're necessarily ready to talk about it, Tony.
Okay.
There's certainly a possibility for, I don't know if I would call it a significant withdrawal, but from the 80-20 plan of needing some money for structural purposes at the library.
Yep. So one of the reasons why I ask is when we did the withdrawal in November, it was sent, we sent it as a check because
Yeah.
we didn't have bank instructions on the two accounts. And I thought we were, and I apologize, it's definitely on me. I thought we had gotten the paperwork ready to add bank information, so that, and I would highly recommend that we do that, even if you decide that in the near term, you don't expect to do a withdrawal, but just having it on there gives you the ability to move money directly to a bank account, really once once it is set up on a moment's notice, we could raise the cash. We would need to trade the portfolio to raise the cash. It would settle the next day, and we can move it directly into whatever bank account it is you guys would like to have established on both of the accounts, as opposed to getting a check cut, sending it in the mail, and if it's not an overnight, waiting 3 to 5 business days. I thought I had done that, and I previously, and when I went and looked, I didn't see that we had it added. So that is the one thing that I would highly recommend that we do, again, even absent the withdrawal. The other item is, if you do feel like you will be making some type of a withdrawal, just the sooner I know, the better. Like, you may say, hey, in the next 30 days, we may want to do this. We can raise the cash if you know for sure you want to do it. But again, that's just timing for me is in terms of trading the portfolio and raising the cash at you know the most important thing is we get it to you when you need it. But just being able to navigate market volatility is helpful as well.
Okay, that makes sense. There are other questions or?
I don't think so.
Anything to add, Tony? I feel like we're doing okay considering the fairly modest position in the smaller account in particular.
Yes, I would agree. Over the long term, given the investment profile, I mean, I can't make any promises, but the kind of the long term bogey or goal is, like a 6 to 8% rate of return over time. There's always going to be volatility, and to be honest, there was an event where there was significant volatility in the last 12 months. It was in April. And I think we sent out a piece, regarding the tariff turmoil, and the US stock market dropped 20%. It came back pretty quickly. But beyond that, there really hasn't been a lot of volatility, you know, other than since 2019, there's been 20% drops in the US stock market. So you guys have experienced all of them. And I think, the long-term approach has rewarded you, right? In 2020, the market dropped more than 20%, when COVID hit and the global economy shut down. 3 years ago, there was a more than 20% drop in the US market and the European markets when Russia invaded Ukraine. And then having those three things happen and within a 5-year time frame, 6-year time frame is unheard of. Typically, you as an investor, you expect or should anticipate that to happen once every market cycle or business cycle, which is usually a 5 to 10-year time frame, and it's happened 3 times in less than that. So it's really just kind of staying focused through those time periods and ideally being rewarded for that over time. So
Sounds good.
all right. Well, I will.
Thank you for your time, Tony.
Yeah,
And
I
for
did
taking
email
care.
this report to you, Kevin, as well as
Yeah.
Emily. So to the extent anyone else wants to be able to kind of just have a copy of it, you have that to distribute.
I can forward that on to everybody after the meeting.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Tony.
Thank you.
Yeah. Have a great evening, everyone.
You too. All right. Now know about the. We're in money.
Did we had originally asked Tony to join this meeting because we were thinking about the capital campaign kind of for the.
Partially and partially because it's been a couple of years.
Okay.
And we have so many board members who have never met him or encountered our portfolio in any detail. We'd actually asked in May and then we pushed it.
Yeah, we ended up having to push that June meeting into July and.
Nice.
that kind of,
Yeah.
we ended up having. Fraction full lot of doing that.
Right.
But good to know where we stand, just to think about the capital campaign. All right, is everybody ready to keep moving on? Keep plowing forward.
That's good.
All right, strategic planning, I think there's nothing to report except that, yeah, I guess really briefly, Emily and Julia
We
took a closer look at it and.
Well, we just take a look at the strategic plan every once in a while, and something was coming up about just attendance at our regular Thursday morning story time, and we were like,
Yeah,
what could we doing? How could we be addressing this audience instead? What might be better timing? And just in a conversation about that, and kind of whenever we are thinking about things like that, we'll look at the strategic plan again and just sort of take a look at what are our commitments, what are the things we've been doing. Is there anything that we're missing that we said we wanted to do? So we just kind of get into that kind of around this time of year every year. So Amber's just referring to that, and I had let Amber in on that discussion. No big decisions, or nothing earth shattering that we've decided, but just that we're taking a look and sort of seeing where we're at. It's where we got really motivated to make sure we did a puzzle race before the Saturday hours changed back to winter hours. Register for the puzzle race.
I guess we kind of talked about the town library relationship back in policy and bylaws with the MOU already. All right, the next big thing to approve, yesterday Jessica sent you guys all along the sketch and the
we can all
details of
look at
what
it.
has come out of her diligent work with Rod and the garden committee. So hopefully everybody had a chance to take a look at that, but would you like to frame things any further for us to understand the changes in the garden division?
Yeah, it's really small. I'll work on this. Hold on.
Thank you guys. We decided to talk about garden stuff. Penny and I are on the committee with Frankie and Janice, who are friends of the library. As many of you know, we decided to break the library garden design into 2 chunks, and we did one chunk where we did our sunken seating area, planted our bushes and the trees, and we decided to wait and observe the space and see how it's used throughout the seasons before we move forward with what we do in the middle, right in front of our door. I think that was really wise and really helpful. In fact, one of our failures, which did cause us all of us lots of stress, it was visually unattractive. And those of us who were doing some watering were trying to save the aronia bushes and die. Kind of inexplicably, it is really dry. And that is probably maybe a long-term consideration for us to think about with garden stuff. But anyway, when they failed, we all realized, in fact, it is lovely and stand at the entrance and take in the sights and the sounds and watch people as they help you up to the entrance. So we have a new proposal to put forth, which is in many ways very simple. Open in the front with a little something extra that is visually interesting. This is the circular seating area with stones around it that you can see. So the front would be opened, and then the side would be a bit of a garden room. So we're really kind of pulling in the edges and containing those 3, I would say, useful areas. The picnic bench is highly utilized. We love this idea of moving our now orphaned aronias over to the side so that you have a little peek through. So we'll walk towards and sit at the picnic bench. We are imagining moving the maple bench to under the maple tree, which we do not own, but we can tie it in visually with our plan. And those Adirondack chairs are represented there too. And I've been loving watching how they kind of move around at the sun season, and I actually think it's kind of great. Things to like about it, I do love that we're gonna be able to see those boulders that have been obscured now. And so, yeah, we're pretty excited about it. For a fraction of a heat pump.
Wow. Wait a
Yeah,
minute.
compliment the sun and enjoy for you.
No one ever
Do
complimented.
you have any questions or comments?
So we're gonna move. So between the two sidewalks, you were taking out the, what, 3 or 4 remaining erroneous, right?
Yes.
But then on the far left and far right in front of the stone circle, and we're leaving those except for a gap in the north
We
one.
are moving the 3 over to our boundary.
Oh, I
of
see.
those that sold recently.
Gotcha. So that will create the gap. It's not that we're gonna
Right.
move.
Creating.
That makes sense to me. Thank you. Yes.
We're
Yeah.
just defining that boundary edge up.
Yep.
Yeah, so the L-shaped,
Yep.
over on the right,
Yep.
are the 3 orphaned ones, as
Yeah.
Jessica put it.
Well, I for one love the idea of moving those and opening it up. I think that, as you said, in the things like not having a hedge between
Yeah.
you and the rest of the world, I think is great. But I also love the idea of having those hedges on the side, creating the kind of like little outdoor room spaces. So hearty here.
Do we know who has moved in next door and how they're gonna use their property?
It's
There were
a
dogs not last night in my walk over.
There were dogs?
Yeah, there were
Inside
dogs
or
inside the house?
Huh?
Yeah.
Or
It's
in the building?
Family.
It's a family with young children.
Okay.
That
Why-
large place,
Yeah.
We're fortunate.
okay.
And I
So,
think
yeah, Ed,
was
Ed and Jen, my understanding is that's their other names. The.
Ben and Ed, yeah.
Jen and Ed. Yeah, we haven't shown them this or spoken. to them.
That might be worth doing.
The other nice part about this is that it's not radically different.
No, it's not.
It's pretty
Subtle.
subtle,
Mhm.
but I think it'll do a lot.
Under the maple tree is the maple bench.
Yeah.
And what are the round things?
They're
Stones. So it's
stones. Probably the stones that are over here, left over.
And the stones around by the sign there around the millstone are set so that you can sit on them
They're in the ground. Yeah.
and be at the table.
You will, you'll stand on them. Yeah, so they're set
You'll
stones.
stand on them. Okay, they're not.
They're like
Got it.
they're the footpath around the millstone.
So you'll sit on, if you want to sit, you'll sit on the millstone.
Yes.
Got it.
We found the millstone.
We have,
We
it
have
is
a
not
picture.
an antique millstone. It is a cut round stone.
Mhm.
I guess that those, true antique millstones cost exactly what the whole estimate would be. So, Rod felt that this was a very pleasing option for us.
Mhm.
We're actually, if we go forward, we're purchasing 2, one with a larger one on top. So it will be a little bit of a mushroom.
Oh, the top diameter be more or less.
What are those
But
kids' toys? Where they have rings?
This one will be,
Yeah.
oh, it's not very
It's
big.
not enormous. It is not huge.
It's small.
No.
So it's
Wait,
almost
well-
more of a sculpture than a
It's
seating.
a sculpture that you can climb on, sit on, look at.
Rod is into.
Wait, the
That-
36-inch one was the base? That was the top. And what's the base?
Smaller, but then the whole thing, I think that will have enough visual weight because the 2 stacked millstones with the embedded stonework around it will all look like one.
Mhm.
I think you should start thinking about a series of seasonal statues that you could.
On top?
Yeah, yeah,
But I really.
like life size even, you know?
Like how about a giant pumpkin?
Dinosaur.
That's my answer to everything. Ooh,
Tyrannosaurus.
dinosaurs. Yeah.
Oh.
So I think we're looking at, Rod gave us an estimate of $5,000 to do all this work, and that includes the cost of the millstone.
Stones.
Stones, yes.
I want to complicate matters by reminding us that Matt Carruthers to place the log bench. First of all, I need to give him 2 weeks, so I need to call him tomorrow. And also, it'll cost $250 for the work he is going to do / has done to the log of just planing it down on the top and bottom and then coming here with the tractor and placing it.
That's the maple.
That's the maple bench. That's the only part that is not included in the rod estimate.
Great that you mentioned it now. 'cause
I forgot and I just
Yeah,
looked it up,
that's
so
perfect.
yeah.
We're sort of trying to have this all hopefully line up to happen.
Yeah.
very soon.
So we have $5,000 for Rod, 250 for Matt, and then $100 for the Crocus event in the spring.
Is this all one motion or are these separate motions for the board?
I think we're including it. I think we should just approve, I would think it's easiest if you just approve a total for the project, knowing that there's 3 different components.
Mhm. Does it make sense to do a little bit more or just say 5,350?
We could say to exceed 5,500.
50.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions about the change of the garden plan or? Before we make a motion?
We're into their homework.
Yay, thanks for the garden committee. I know it was really like a lot of nudging and brain power. Okay, I'll make a motion to approve an amount not to exceed $5,500 to complete phase 2 of our garden project.
Who seconded?
We'll give it to Jess.
Jessica, yeah.
Do all the work.
All in favor?
I really rarely.
Great.
All in
It's just like, I don't have time to look up. There's so much going on.
No,
Too quiet, it's too long.
All right, we already talked about fair compensation. Thank you, Ben, for doodling people. So special events, there are several things on the horizon which the library could be involved in either as a presence or in a fundraising capacity. Some of these things really the fundraising committee should meet to talk further about, but unfortunately the timing of everything is that like some of these things we need to make a decision right now. The Main Street Festival is this Sunday and Nancy and Janice are gonna have little scratchy bookmarks and a tote raffle. Yes, thank you very much for.
So is someone gonna give me the?
Yes, I have.
Yes, yeah,
make you a
we will
little
make
kit.
sure you have what you need. And it's a really simple, it's like little.
The
wooden
craft is-
sticks and-
I think the kids are all really used to it and it's self-explanatory, but we can do one together.
You'll give me everything that I
We'll
should.
give you
Yes.
everything.
And do I get a table from
Yes,
here?
yes.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
here.
And
Sunday?
we can either put it in your car on Saturday or we can, we can put it in the storage box in the back for Sunday, so you don't have to come in.
Okay.
Let's work on that. Bookmark table and tote raffle.
So that event is more of a presence in the community. The Putney School Harvest Festival is in about 3 weeks. It's Indigenous Peoples Weekend, that's Sunday.
This Sunday, yeah.
And we've been given the green light that we can have a table there where we can fundraise.
Yeah, which
correct?
I had proposed just vaguely a raffle since we hadn't talked about it before, but
Mhm.
it could also be like free tote bag raffle, when we have people just
Yeah.
put their tickets in. But if we wanted to do something like a basket raffle, or some other kind of fundraising thing, it's open to us.
Yeah. And so that's something that they really need to know like yesterday, if we want to do this or not. And I guess I would just say, as folks consider capacity around fundraising and those things, the other organization that's given us the green light to fundraise is the Putney Craft Tour, with the potential that they might even be able to solicit donations that we could be like raffling off here in the
Yeah.
library during the craft tour.
They're having their meeting tonight. I talked to Bob Birch. He had sent out an email feeling everyone on the craft tour out and gotten just positive responses, but did say like, I have to get everyone to actually agree to it tonight.
Sure.
So we don't It's
how would
pretty
that
short.
work?
Great
I think
question.
we would, I mean, we won't be, they've already created the map, so we won't be an official stop on the map that they create with the different locations. But we could open the space, which is another thing to consider. It's Thanksgiving weekend and the library is typically closed all 3 of those days
Right.
of Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah, it's Friday, Saturday, and we're always closed Sunday,
And
but
Sunday. But one idea is sort of similar to the book sale. If some of the craft vendors, in order to sort of like amplify their offerings out in the community, wanted to donate a piece, and then we could raffle them off. I don't know how many people would stop.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. how many people stop.
I think if we're outside, the craft tour, or at least Bob really, and other people that remarked like the idea of a presence downtown. That but outside, it's like, who knows what the weather is
Yeah.
gonna be.
Yeah.
We could have a fire and bake sale. The other, one other complicating factor is that the West Church is doing food, and so is Pierce's Hall. So they're also both
Yeah.
like fundraising and doing things. I think Pierce's Hall is trying to do lunch, kinds of things like soup and bread, and that Westminster West Church was trying to do a bake sale. So I did want to bring those up.
Are they on the map?
Yeah, it's a great question. I don't know. I think Pierce's Hall started doing theirs last year. Maybe this year they've made it onto the map, and I think Westminster West Church has been, yeah, a
One-
long time.
One thing about craft fur is, I don't know this for a fact, but it seems to me that it's predominantly people from away. It's not local
Mhm.
people.
Yeah.
And they're less likely to be interested in the library. And I, so it's really a fundraising event. It's not a community
Yeah.
engagement event.
Yeah.
And from my observation of being for many years at the Putney, the Harvest Festival, is that if you want to make some money, you got to go for it, but you can really make some money because, and you provide food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's just my thought about it. I think if this becomes something here where you're trying to sell food and competing with versus Hall and West, I just don't think you're gonna make much money at all. And then there
That's a
isn't
good
much
point.
other rationale for doing it.
Yeah.
We actually are generally open on the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
The thought being that everybody is really ready to get out of the house.
Yeah.
And then I guess just to complicate things a little bit more, but for everybody to consider, because we're talking about our time here, is that we have this idea of having seasonal gatherings outside in our stone seating area. And fall is this weekend, which doesn't mean we have to do something this weekend, but we are sort of at like the cusp of like another season. We had talked about doing like a stone soup thing out there. Trish did storytelling and s'mores this summer. We have done the solstice event, which has been really popular. Doesn't mean we have to do this, but there's several things here that we're looking at that would be on us to be showing up for and facilitating.
So one idea is we already participate in Halloween night. So we could have a fire on Halloween night.
That's true. I mean, the action is really like,
Yeah.
Come here, right?
If
for
they see a
something.
fire and they think there might be.
they might come down. I mean, yeah, it's just like, it's a scene down there, and
Yeah,
we are welcome to set up a table, I think, there and not have.
That's really,
Yeah,
yeah, actually.
I like that. I like that
And
idea.
I'm not opposed to Stone Soup or doing it
Yeah.
an additional event, but it's like, oh, well, we already kind of
Yeah,
are a part of that, and
Yeah.
it's in the fall.
absolutely. I mean, the library could morph with my idea that I want to do a Madonna themed flash mob on
Okay.
Halloween night in downtown Putney.
Strike a pose.
So this is like, this could be.
I'm just thinking, based on this proposal alone.
Stand on the
I am definitely showing up to Halloween this year.
Dress up like your favorite Madonna. We just have to find an appropriate song for the mixed stage. Well, so do we feel like we have the energy to say, yes, we want to show up at the Harvest Festival?
I'm there.
and have
mean,
some kind of.
I'm there for 8 hours, so I can hang out for a couple hours anyway,
Uh-huh.
at least an hour, 2 hours. I usually do something.
Mhm.
I'm away that
I'm
weekend,
away.
yeah.
And I'm at Scott Farm for our event.
I actually just
No
told the
problem.
farmer's market I could work that day.
Mm.
I had to take away another day.
I
Yeah,
mean, the way to make money there, like Jim said, is like chili and
And,
corn.
and I'm gonna be involved
Money.
doing the Bill Coke League, which they do every year.
Mhm.
Come for like an hour or two, but.
I'll be in Maine in college visits with my oldest. I know, right?
What colleges?
Virginia.
She's-
College of the Atlantic?
No,
No,
she's
you're
looking
not.
at Bowdoin and Bates right
Uh-huh.
Good for her.
now.
I
You,
agree with
you
what
and
Jim
you and Laura
said,
went to
that
COA,
Yeah.
right? That's, I thought I remembered that, right?
I think I agree about maybe not doing craft tour stuff. If we wanted to focus on Harvest Festival, what it was this year. Did notice there are long lines for actual food. You
Yeah.
can get sweets
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
quick, but like
Yeah.
actual, like if you could buy it like.
Yeah, soup and burger.
half foods like that, there's a need there for that.
Bill Coke League is been doing it for a couple of years now and does tacos, but you know, you might make $1,000.
Is this always?
Not
in
sure
different
it's worth
people?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
huge,
Yes.
it's separate.
It's a huge effort. And we're saying like the Bill Coke League, it makes sense because you're getting exposure, because there are a lot of people
Yeah.
from the community who come to the Harvest Fest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
can't-
not, I don't know, I'm not sure it's worth the investment, frankly.
I can't commit to that day right now, just because I and don't know what Lila's Nutcracker
Mhm.
rehearsal schedule is, and I'm solo that weekend. So yeah, I did this with the West Ups Library and the candy apples, and it was like,
yes,
oh
right.
my, like a lot of work. Like just
like one thing.
and like, yes, I
Don't-
think
yeah.
I would like, I think it would be great to earn $1,000. I think like it being September 16th
Mhm.
and like having that, like, it doesn't look
Yeah.
like a lot of us are around, like to have 2 or 3 people hold it is like,
A lot.
it would just like take over that person's whole
Mhm.
week, like,
Yeah.
if not more of like what we're making and all like setting up and all of it. Like, I know the candy apple thing is its own thing, but it's kind of bringing back PTSD.
Get those apples.
Like, I'm not recovered from it.
It's telling you that's,
Yeah.
right? Like you guys made those for
Fingers.
the Harvest Festival, right? Like,
Yeah, but I was in charge of ordering
No.
everything and we had this
I know.
caramel.
I'm not
it's like-
saying, oh, that was no work. It's just more like even doing something where all the prep is beforehand is a ton of work.
It was so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Can I
Sure.
suggest that it sounds like we don't have capacity to do that this year, right? But it sounds like if we want to do something next year, we have to talk about it long before September.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When do we need to start talking about it if we're going to have capacity for it? And can we put it on our own collective calendar so we actually talk about it at that month's board meeting?
Mhm.
I think it's always like, yeah,
Community. For us, me,
I don't, and I agree with that. I don't think we should abandon the idea that maybe there's something we could do with the craft tour, but it would be to me, and maybe it's completely unfeasible, but something inside, like somehow we have some kind of a show here. So people come into town and they stop here to get their schedule, you know, something like some just different approach. I don't know.
What about the,
Yeah.
what about the hospitality part of it? Like they set up at the Basketville. They set up at Basketville, right? Right?
Oh, didn't I get?
Yeah.
If we're,
like the
if we were
headquarters.
going
Okay,
to
so
do
that's already, there's
something-
already, for that.
Yeah, if we were going to do something, it'd be actually at Basketville where they're. Instead of at the library itself, if this is a fundraiser of some kind, I
Yeah.
don't know.
And I just think we should, that should still be on the table.
Yeah. I was thinking more about the Putney School Harvest Festival, because that was the weekend. It's to a person, except maybe Penny, right? Or
I'm not sure.
oh yeah, right. So, right. So
by myself.
we're not sure is it a bunch of right? Yeah. I didn't volunteer, but it was not my intention. But it sounds like we can't do the Putney Harvest Festival, Putney School Harvest Festival this year, but we might be able to next year if we talk about it in June, was my thought. And if we can somehow like put that in the docket so that we don't forget to ask ourselves that, then it might feel like a much more feasible thing, and we might not all have that Sunday scheduled already.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think this is, the fundraising committee needs to maybe be brought together and like assess, what are like biggest bangs for our buck and like plan it out.
Recommendation.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's good to know that we are with them.
Can I add something to, the suggestion, it's a very easy $1,000 to make, is the Scott Farm Crate Night.
Great names, yes.
So,
We have to sign up for that.
this winter we'll be asking for applications.
Mm-hmm.
Dummerston Library was there last year.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling you might get selected.
We'll have to put together a compelling application.
Not that hard. It's a lot of fun.
I bet.
You volunteered, and you volunteered, right?
No, I wasn't there for the VWS one. I couldn't make it to that one.
I've been to one, but the Orchard, have people been to the Orchard Hill thing?
The-
They did it.
It's been many years.
Where we.
Yeah.
With it under.
Well, they do Vermont. Institute.
You can go there too.
Yeah.
We don't have anyone on the inside though, but we do have two. I've heard great things about the crepe.
They're fun.
All right, so the fundraising committee has much to talk about, but this is a perfect segue to the next. The next item, which is that really I think probably need to meet as a capital campaign committee. Kevin spoke with Carlotta.
I did.
Yeah. That's all it is.
I know, you signed us.
Carlotta Kierden, who works in the development office, at the Putney School, has sent 3 children, one of whom works for me now. Husband was the communications director for a long time. She's an alumni. She worked. Her first capital campaign was for the Putney Public Library to build this building. And she gave me a folder of all the stuff that she which I don't have with me at the moment, but
Yeah.
But it seems like it would be helpful, right, for us to come together and try to get our
and
heads
she's
wrapped
willing to
around.
come too, if you want to come to the next meeting.
Were you gonna do some kind of a?
I was. This
report?
meeting's too long.
Yeah.
Sit tight.
Are you still planning to do it tonight?
No.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
Amber and I strategically decided
It's like,
that we would,
sleep.
I would summarize my, I would, I would summarize the learnings from my development and fundraising class, not at this meeting, but rather in October.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, it's obvious that.
Yes, we're already putting them into action
Mhm.
with our snappy appeal.
Super. So maybe that's the 3.
If you want
Three
Carlotta
committees
for
that
the
are-
next meeting, I'm happy to ask her.
Okay. I think the last thing we need to talk about, unfortunately, the community supper in November got double booked and we lost the arm wrestling. So,
Oh, it was wrestling, it wasn't about the quality of the chili. Okay.
the Landmark is going to be hosting in November, and Jessica has penciled us in for January, which was open. And in a conversation, multiple conversations, we were like, oh, soup in January is nice.
Right.
People need to get out of the house in January.
Soup is great.
So,
What's
yeah.
the date?
What's that?
What's the date? What?
It would be the second Friday in January. So,
Got the calendar.
The 9th, January 9th, 2026.
Yeah, so does anybody have any like outstanding like objections to the idea of
Hmm.
shifting on a later in the winter? I was ready to like, call somebody a landmark.
They have a catering kitchen. I wouldn't mess with them.
They have a crew.
Thanksgiving is their contribution to the community.
Yeah.
So they kind of came
Yeah.
on and requested it, and I'm sure the library.
Do we make money?
Great.
Maybe they should give us a nice.
No money is made.
Will.
So
That's
we
good.
actually expend money.
And I think January could be quite lovely. It's a time when people are looking for something to do. and
What is
They
it?
don't tend to be the most full.
Oh, but that's right.
Get away from that.
Yeah. On Friday, this past Friday, the Putney
Perfect time.
Farmers Market did it, and it was our largest.
Wow.
I know.
Yeah.
He did it.
It's online, and then we decided we'll give them a break.
It was really good.
I
mean, it was the
Just
farmer.
they- And sat next to each other and said, "This is a pretty good shepherd's pie," you know. So it was casserole. They did a lamb and beef shepherd's pie, and they did a lentil shepherd's pie. We did sit next to someone who, and what they did was they got a recipe and they made the shepherd's pie. The person we were sitting next to would say to make mashed potatoes and vegetables. So it actually, it's like making lasagna.
Yeah, I've heard part.
This would be worse.
So, we did sell out first run.
So what are we making?
I mean, we've made chili the past 2 years, which has been a big hit. And that would be a lovely winter meal.
Soup is great.
Yeah, and what we've done in years past is we come together like the night before, like that Thursday evening at Next Stage, and we just use the kitchen there to do all the prep work and some of the cooking. And then also there are people on the board who say, "Oh, I'll make a big tray of brownies," or "I'll make, 2 dozen cookies," or so we have all of our pizzas that way. And Eleni at the diner usually handles the salad.
Yeah.
It double eggs.
Yeah.
Was it double eggs or something?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it
definitely.
was
It's
It's
Jim's
like
bread.
perfectly apportioned. It's like we ran out of everything, but we didn't have anybody who was like really hungry at least. So like.
It's getting worse. I feel like it ran out last month. No, I wasn't there last month. The month before that, it ran out at the fire department.
It's just.
Some
it's hard
warm
for
nights.
Yeah.
Weather.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we.
Yeah.
Well, it has to be inside.
It's just us surrounded by fire.
Warming our
That
heads.
sort of thing. Hoping the power comes back on. Okay.
All right. Well, everyone can mark their calendars for January 9th.
I'm sorry, I hate to do this, but I'm looking at my notes under the special events and I feel like we didn't really, like, are we not, I feel like I feel bad because I sort of like squashed the funny art festival, changed the topic on the snowsuit, and none of us have really agreed upon the
think
Putney Craft Corner or
everybody
not,
did that.
so.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure, are we not doing any of those things or what are we doing?
Or is the fundraising committee going to meet kind of soon and assess whether or not there's something to do at the craft tour?
The others are just too soon.
Yeah, at least 2 of them
Yeah.
are off the
Yeah, I
table.
think the Harvest Festival will be.
Yeah. And also, while we're in this mode, I also wonder, the capital campaign were we gonna pre-meet before the next meeting? I guess we talked about bringing Carlotta to the board meeting and not having a separate capital campaign meeting, but rather having a piece of next meeting be that.
Mhm.
Probably want to start sooner rather than later, right?
Yeah. We didn't really come to an understanding
Yeah,
of that
yeah.
either.
I mean, that makes sense to me. We don't have. Yeah, but it's
No.
not gonna go back to.
No, nothing will ever be as packed as this agenda.
We're gonna hear about Emily's course.
No,
Where is
yeah.
this gonna happen?
The
I
entire
heard about Greece.
That's true. That will not happen at the meeting.
And we will be looking probably potentially at your evaluation, but
Mhm.
so that will be, I
Yeah.
guess, your evaluation.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, I know.
okay.
That could maybe push into
Like
November.
having our library, I'm just saying the fall is.
Yeah.
I think we all thought that our February birthday party ended up being a fundraiser and like a fun event that gets people out of the time when there isn't a lot happening, so. I'm always a fan of like not complicating, but it's, yeah, busy
Mhm.
time. Maybe doing something rather than-
I guess I'll just add that for our seasonal thing, right, that's not a fundraising event.
Right.
That's just like we had kind of said we wanted to try to use the stone seating area once a season. So I don't know if there's somebody who wants to say like, oh, like we can just like have a fire, do this thing. I mean, when I did the storytelling, nobody really showed up.
I was there and it was awesome.
But it was lovely and, you know,
Nobody.
and 2 kids.
To be fair, there was a PCS
There
event
was a
that we
huge
did not know
PCS
about
Yes.
happening the same night that siphoned off all of
Yeah,
the
there was
family.
300 kids over there.
Yeah, yeah. It was incredibly hot.
It was 95 degrees during a PTS event and we were having a fire.
Yeah. The popsicles were great.
I just wasn't sure if there's somebody who was like, yeah, I'll lead some, like,
Sure.
I'll just like say I'll do a fall event. And if not, no big deal. I just wanted to like,
You are right that we also generally do something at the Halloween, like do a table. And we haven't planned for that either. And October meetings.
October is gonna be.
Table if it's actually in the
Yeah.
fray where all the kids are.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, the kids would be- I wouldn't want to do it here, if somebody else want to do it here, they could, but I'm happy to do something.
So this would be different than Susan reading books.
It would be, but didn't we do a table last year or no? I can't.
Yeah, there's, I think Dennis was there last year.
Yeah.
The Halloween night.
Yeah.
Oh.
Nickel Hill.
yeah.
Yeah.
Another one, if we skip equinox. Why don't we talk about solstice at the October meeting instead of the November meeting?
Sure.
Yeah,
Then
there
we
you go.
can have, then we'll have. More capacity, I think, to do something fun. I mean, we already have a solstice gig that seems to be working and going, so if we can remind ourselves of what that is. We can track down our musical entertainment and if we can get that sort of way beforehand, that means I'm more likely to be able to have an open calendar to work on something.
Is it the 21st solstice?
Yes,
Which is a fun.
I think it's usually the 21st, but it might not be this year, depending.
It
is, but that's a Sunday.
It's a Sunday.
I think last time
We did a Friday,
Yeah.
yeah.
And what did you do last year?
So we've done a fire and last year we had the a cappella high schoolers come and then did well, not all, it was not carols. It was just singing and we had we get donations of cider donuts and we make hot cider. That's,
Occasionally, like a poem or a story.
yeah, like just kind of the time to be together in the dark with a fire and warm, yummy food.
Sounds good.
And was it last year that like there was that perfect like Hallmark Channel snow?
Oh, yeah,
fall?
it was, yes.
So like we walked in, but nobody was afraid of like, accidents in the highway and yeah, it's wonderful. And then there was a play at Next Stage, like just shortly after, and it was a wonderful night.
Quite lovely. I do like the idea of maybe just putting our fall energy into Halloween on Kimball Hill, as long as I'm not orchestrating a town-wide flash mob. I can probably help you out. You're really wrong. Oh, no, I really, for
It's
3
the
years.
same.
I got-
We've been talking about this for 3 years. I can vouch for that.
So is there?
Where should I? Okay, okay.
Well, you guys